Hey, what is up, guys? I am back with my third philosophy video, and today we're going to talk about a few things. First, John Locke. He is a very important um philosopher for many reasons. First of all, the reasons of national law of the theory that men um act best free. We are naturally free. This comes from the theory of natural rights, the theory that God gave us rights, or not our government. Um that is for um extraordinarily important for our development as a country. It was one of the biggest and most big philosophies of our founders, and he is extraordinarily important for that. He's extraordinarily important as pretty much really one of the biggest Enlightenment philosophers for the American experiment. He showed us that our mind works best free, and he is extraordinarily important in a sense of the Enlightenment. Second, I kind of want to talk about altruism, and it's connected to communism. And altruism is pretty much defined as sharing, as being nice to each other, as being unselfish. And that sounds great. And that is one of the big reasons that communism has really took in a it's been so successful throughout, because there's really not a lot of good pragmatic um arguments for communism. If you really look at it as a pragmatic term, communism just doesn't work right. But if you look at it as an altruistic lens of thinking, it works perfectly. It's perfect. You're sharing is caring. It makes everyone else better. Sharing is caring. That is kind of what should be the saying for communists. Sharing is caring. And it kind of has been working for them, especially in young Americans' lives. I think the first part of fighting for capitalism is definitely um, pragmatic argument. A pragmatic argument that says that that competition works the best, that competition forces people to innovate, that a profit motive makes it more makes people innovate to get money. It makes them make other people's lives better. I think that is also a good pragmatic argument against altruism. The sharing as a political system is bad because it stops people from kind of innovation. It stops innovation, which really helps our country. That is why poor people today live better lives than royals in the 17th century, because they are allowed to innovate, because people have a need to innovate to become rich, to have a lot of money, and to live a much better life as a person. As an extraordinarily big reason against altruism. I think a moral reason against altruism kind of hurts our society, and kind of have to take that altruism as say there's a land for people, and you have a farmland. You start with a little bit of land, but you figure out something new that helps you get more food, so you expand your land. But now you have such a big land, you're rich, you're horrible, you're greedy. So they bring it down and they give it to someone else who doesn't know how to do this. So other people don't have as much food because your big land isn't being as effective as someone else's land, and now that it's smaller, there's less food being created. You might not create this new way of doing stuff if you see that once you get a lot of money, you're not going to have it as much anymore. Bernie Sanders said that it's going to be very tough to be rich and very tough to be poor. And I don't think that it's going to be very tough to be poor, but I know it's going to be very tough to be rich. It's kind of like the crabs pulling someone down when they try to get out of the bucket. That's kind of like another analogy I really would love to look at. It's a bucket of crabs, and they're trying to get out. Getting out is getting rich. And the crabs always just try to bring them down. That's what they do. And that is something, that's a good analogy to kind of fight altruism and socialism, and especially with Bernie Sanders probably going to get a huge role in the 2020 election. You got to talk about that with some of your Bernie Sanders supporters. Third and finally, I want to talk about a little bit about the Non-Aggression Pact. The Non-Aggression Pact kind of states that you can do what you want if you don't stop other people from doing what they want. And I think it's a great idea for libertarianism, and it's important to kind of put other people, educate other people on that idea, because that was kind of the main idea for a lot of our big freedom advancement so far in the 20th century, especially for marrying rights. It was like, if they want to marry, why do you care if they want to marry? That is a great um a great argument tool against for really for liberty and for libertarianism. It's a great argument tool. That's why marijuana has such a high standing in the American culture and American mind today. It it's you take as someone, 75 or 70% of people agree that marijuana should be legalized. That's because of the argument of the Non-Aggression Pact that, you know what, if you're not hurting anyone, why should you not be able to do it? And I think that is an extraordinarily important thing for us as libertarians to argue and argue hard. And I think if we do this well, if you do that well, you can really, 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 really get more support for libertarian candidates and libertarian philosophies and policies. That is my video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.